UFC 315 Bal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena is taking place this weekend, and it's a pretty card. We got this guy whose name I can't remember, DJ Khaled, I think. We got JDM, we got Shevchenko, we got Manon, we got Jose Aldo's coming back, we got Colon, Alexa Graasso is coming back, we got BSD. It's a pretty decent card. I'm going to be going through it, talking about all the fights, picking who I think is going to win. First and foremost, thank you guys for 2,000 subscribers. If you like the content, like, subscribe, comment what videos you guys want to see next, and let's get straight into it, starting with the first fight on this card, which is Katona versus Beexat Almak. Beexat Almak, that's a real thing. But yeah, I'm picking Beexat, and here's why. The thing about Katona is they're only keeping him around when they go to Canada. When they announce Katona's name, they're going to say the 2-time Ultimate Fighter winner. Bro, that's not a good thing, bro. That is not a good thing to have as an accolade. That means you got cut from the UFC for being shit, and then you won the Ultimate Fighter again. Being the 2-time Ultimate Fighter winner is terrible, bro. But yeah, this Beexat dude, he made his debut against Umar Nurmagomedov, actually dropped Umar, and yeah, he might have gotten out wrestled, but it's Umar. It's fucking Umar Nurmagomedov. I think this guy got unlucky in his debut fighting Umar, and I think he should get it done against Katona, who I think is a little underwhelming as a fighter. Not that good in my opinion, so. But, could prove me wrong. Next fight on the card, we got Daniel Santos versus Jung Lee. Say that fucking 5 times, bro. Jung Lee. Anyways, Jung got finished by Hyder Emil, but as we have seen Hyder Emil prove himself that he's a pretty good fighter against people like William Gomez, who is a top level featherweight. So, I'm not going to hold that loss against Jung Lee too badly. I think that people are kind of overrating Daniel Santos because of this shoot box aura he has, training with Oliveira, training with Ian Gary, and is making people pick Santos. He's super inactive. He hasn't fought in like a year and a half for some reason. I don't know if he's coming off an injury, but pretty sure this is short notice for Daniel Santos, and Jung Lee has had a full camp. I think I like Jung Lee's chances in this fight, but it could go either way. But I do think I think Daniel Santos is being a little overrated just because he trains at shootbox. So I'm picking Jung Lee. Next fight on the card, we got Marc-Andre Barao versus Bruno Silva. So this is basically a fight where you got to say to yourself, okay, who is more washed? Who has got their ass kicked worse? And last time we saw Marc-Andre Barao, he got put away with one of the nastiest KOs of the year. And last time we saw Bruno Silva, he was getting whooped by Ismail Nurdayev, and he was getting his eyeball stolen by Chris Weidman. So who is more washed? I think that Bruno Silva is more washed than Marc-Andre Barao. He looked like absolutely terrible in his last few performances. And even though Marc-Andre Barao leads with his head when he throws, he kind of just swings forward a lot, and he kind of just throws caution to the wind and just goes for the knockout. I think that's enough to beat Bruno Silva at this stage of his career, bro. Bruno Silva, he was, even though that stoppage against Chris Weidman was like weak as fuck, like it should have been like a no contest, he was still getting pieced up by Chris Weidman regardless. But you never know with these washed versus washed people. So I think I'm picking Marc-Andre Barao to defeat Bruno Silva. Let's move on to the next one, which is Navajo Sterling versus Ivan Urslin. Listen, I think that Navajo Sterling is gonna get fraud checked eventually, but today is not that day. I think he wins a 29-28 decision against Ivan, who just lost to Kutalaba in a pretty competitive fight. But like at the same time, how are you losing to Kutalaba in the big 2025, man? I don't think that Ivan Urslin really should have ever been signed to the UFC. He got signed off of a loss in KSW, beat a can in his debut. I think Navajo Sterling, training with Izzy, training with Hooker, training with Volk at City Kickboxing, will be enough to get past this test. But the more he fights, the more I'm a little sketched out. He looks pretty green in his fights. Like, how do you not finish Duco tacos? You know what I mean? Like Big Taco. How do you not finish the big taco, man? Navajo Sterling, I think he's more athletic. He's younger. He's got the height advantage. He's got the reach advantage. I think that Navajo Sterling will win this fight by decision. I need to see some more out of him before I can pick him against a ranked opponent. But, light heavyweight isn't that deep, so we'll see. Next fight on the card, we got Kutalaba versus Modestas Bukauskas. And here's what I gotta say. How do you lose to Vitor Petrino, bro? This is my message to fucking Modestas Bukauskas. This guy made me believe that Vitor Petrino was good. You got knocked the fuck out by someone who got beat by Anthony Smith, bro. You got knocked the fuck out by someone who lost Anthony Smith. I can't pick you to beat someone with skill. Even if it's Kutalaba, which Kutalaba isn't even that good at this stage, bro. He's 19-10. 10 losses. 10 people have beaten him. Kutalaba, he's good at fraud checking people. He just fraud checked the guy we were just talking about. He fraud checked that Turkish dude, Ibo Urslin. I'm coming for everybody! and he just got knocked the fight. He lost to Cutelaba, you know what I mean? So I think Cutelaba will be good enough to find the chin of Modestas. Modestas was going to war with Marcin Prachnio. I don't remember if you know that fight, but I think it was Prash. One of them threw a fucking crazy like question mark kick in the clinch, bro. It was that was a really good fight. Bukauskas was losing the fight until he got the comeback win against Marcin Prachnio. So I do think that Ion Cutelaba will be good enough to defeat Modestas Bukauskas. Moving on to the next one, we got Jazz the Dicious versus Jessica Andrade, and I'm gonna have to pick Jazz the Dicious. Jessica Andrade has showed that she doesn't have that much of a ground game. She's older. You know, actually, what the fuck? She's not older. What the fuck? Jessica Andrade is only 33 years old. What the fuck? How is Jazz the Dicious is 36 and Andrade is 33? I did not realize that, but I was about to say she's older, but she's not. She's just been around longer, you know? Jessica has shown that she doesn't really have a good of a ground game. She lost to Natalyia, Silva, and Suarez on the ground. I think Jasmine is good enough to take her down, hold her there. Maybe sub her, but I think that this would be a close fight. 29-28 split decision, classic WMMA fight. On the way, bro. Mike Mallet fucking sucks. I don't think Mike Mallet is good, bro. I think that Mike Mallet is a frail human being. I think that whenever you put pressure on this guy, he crumbles. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, he was winning the Magny fight, but first of all, it's Neil Magny, bro. But it was by laying on top of him and not doing any real damage, bro. Look what everyone else has done to Neil Magny, bro. Prates, the guy that's fighting Burns finishes Magny. Miles Morales finishes Magny. Fucking everyone and their mama can finish Neil Magny except for Mike Mallet, who gets knocked out by Neil Magny, bro. Then you look at his last performance and he just kind of laid on his opponent. I don't think you can do that to Charles Radkkey, man. I think Radkkey is super underrated. Not super underrated, but kind of underrated. He lost to Prates, but we have seen that he is not afraid to scrap. He will put pressure on Mallet, and I just don't think Mallet can handle that, bro. I just don't think he's built like that. You have to feel kind of bad for Mallet. He was going to be the next big Canadian star until he got fraud checked, but that's the nature of the sport, bro. So I think Charles Radkkey is going to knock out Mike Mallet, who's a little frail Canadian, he's a little twerp, you know what I mean? So yeah, we're gonna have to go with Charles Radkkey on that one. Next fight on the card, I don't even know what to say, bro. Benoit Saint-Denis versus Kyle Preple. The original fight, which was BSD versus Yoel Alvarez, I was feeling pretty bad for fucking BSD, bro, because he just keeps fighting these killers, man. You got Moicano, Dustin, and Yoel Alvarez back to back, but this is gonna be an easy win for Benoit Saint-Denis. This is a no-brainer. Don't fucking try to like be a hardcore fan and be like, man, I think Kyle Preple gives him some fucking trouble, man. Don't do that, bro. Okay, this guy used to be in the UFC and he was terrible, okay? He lost to fucking terrible people when he was in the UFC and now he's back. He hasn't beaten anybody impressive on the regional scene. Yes, Benoit lost to Poirier. He lost to Moicano. It's fucking Poirier. It's Moicano. Those are top 10 people. They've been at the top of the fucking weight classes for a long time. And you cannot forget that he won the second round against Moicano and he won the first round against Dustin. This guy Kyle is being sacrificed to the Benoit Saint-Denis Aura farm, bro. He's being served with some beignets and French toast, man. He stands no chance. He's just beating cans and he's stepping up on short notice. He's a Canadian. This is the type of dude that Benoit Saint-Denis knocks the fuck out. I'm glad Benoit is getting back in the win column. Sucks that he's not fighting Alvarez and like proving himself, but yeah, man. I think Benoit Saint-Denis is gonna get a nasty first round knockout over this fucking bomb, bro. So let's move on to the next fight, which is Alexa Graasso versus Natalyia Silva. I gotta go with Natalyia Silva. Listen, I believe flukes exist in this sport, and that is what happened to Shevchenko in the first Graasso fight. She made a mistake and she paid the price for it. If we watch the other two Shevchenko fights, bro, Graasso loses every grappling exchange and gets, especially in the third fight, she got absolutely dominated. There was no success in that fight at all. Shevchenko just laid on top of Graasso, which is really confusing to me because Graasso has Diego Lopez, who is one of the best like ground game people in the UFC, in her corner. Colon, you know, like how the fuck are you losing in the grappling that bad when you have Diego Lopez in your corner? I guess I know it's Shevchenko, but still. Natalyia has a very good grappling game, man. She just absolutely dominated Andrade on the ground, who's on this card. She beat Arai, who's on the ground. She beat all these people on the ground. You know what I mean? So I think that Natalyia Silva will be able to just take Alexa Graasso down and lay on her the same exact way that Shevchenko did. So that is my prediction for that fight. I think that Natalyia Silva will win by decision, 30-27. Alexa Graasso, gotta go sell some feet pictures, bro. That's the only way you're getting a fucking career. Next fight on the card, I'm picking Amin Zahabi to defeat Jose Aldo. Now listen, please don't click off the video. Please just hear me out. Please listen to me, man. If this fight was on the feet, the entire time, I would pick Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is a better striker than Aiemann Zahabi. But until Jose Aldo can prove to me that he can get off of the cage, I can't pick him, man. Volk held Aldo against the cage. Mario Batista held Aldo against the cage. Merab held Aldo against the cage. Why can Aiemann Zahabi not do the exact same thing and win this fight? That's my question. Is like, if this is like a normal fight and Aiemann Zahabi's not a coward, then I think Aldo will win, bro. But I think Zahabi is a smart fighter and he'll do what he has to do to win, you know? So I think Zahabi. I want Jose Aldo to win this fight. I'm a big Aldo fan. I cheer for him all the time. You all have seen me go on fucking rants about how the UFC is unjustly doing Aldo, and they're doing it again, okay? But I will say this, man. Why is Aldo not adapting? Why can Aldo not get off of the cage? With this much experience, you don't know how to reverse someone pushing you against the cage? So I just can't pick Aldo until he fixes that mistake in his game, man. Like, anyone that tries to strike with Aldo is going to lose, but I think Zahabi's smarter than that, and I think he'll just push Aldo against the cage, like Mario, like Merab, like Volk. Aldo is getting older too, so. And the weight cut, you know? He's going to fucking bantamweight. This dude's huge for bantamweight. I think that Jose Aldo will lose by decision. Boring fight. It will be lame as fuck. Everyone will hate on Zahabi, but then we'll kind of have a moment of realization and be like, okay, this is the 4th time this has happened to Jose Aldo. It's kind of his own fault that this is happening. You know what I mean? So I hate to do it, but I'm picking Aiemann Zahabi to defeat Jose Aldo Jr. Next fight on the card, Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Ferro. And listen, I'm picking Shevchenko. I think the experience gap in WMMA fights always shows. Shevchenko has over 500 kickboxing matches and a 2-decade MMA career. She has honed her ability to adapt and strategize effectively during fights, bro. Her recent unanimous win over Graasso showed that she is a really, really, really good fighter, man. Just being able to hold Graasso down like that, man, what a warrior. But look, here's the thing. If this fight stays on the feet, I think it's 50-50. Shevchenko will do what she has to do. She'll shoot takedowns. She'll hold fucking Manon. Like, Manon has a good striker, man. Don't get me wrong. She's been on a tear. She fucking dominated Erin Blanchfield a year ago. You can't even be like, oh, she's so much younger. She's 35 as well. Shevchenko's 37. Ferro is 35. They're both old. Only a 1-inch reach advantage for Ferro. I think Shevchenko will be able to find counter shots on the feet, and I think that Shevchenko will be able to utilize her grappling. She's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She's a black belt in taekwondo. She has like 50 or 60 Muay Thai fights. I just think the experience gap is too much for Ferro. So I'm picking Valentina Shevchenko to win this fight. Okay, the main event. Bal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. Now listen, I have never gotten a Bal fight correct. I'll say this first. I have never gotten a Bal Muhammad fight correct. And do you know why I've never gotten a Bal fight right? Because I've picked against Bal every single time. Well, that ends today, man. That ends today. I will be picking Bal Muhammad to defend his title against JDM, and here's why. I like JDM. He has some of the best striking in the entire UFC. But I'm sorry. I have seen Basel Hafez lay on top of you, bro. I have seen Gilbert Burns lay on top of you. Gilbert Burns got out-grappled by Brady, and Brady had nothing for Bal. Bal Muhammad has a better ground game than Basel Hafez and Gilbert Burns. So why can he not just do the exact same thing that those people were doing, but not get caught? The success that those people had are a lower level success than fucking Bal. You know what I mean? Like, Bal can do what those guys did and replicate what those guys did and not get finished because he's a better fighter than them. And look, I've seen people saying, look, man, JDM, he's been training with Craig Jones, man. Don't let him do. Dude, Bal has been training specifics with Khabib and Islam. 2 guys that were pound for pound #1, bro. I've seen Kevin Holland go tit for tat with you, bro. Like, I don't think it should have been a split decision, but it was a close fight. I just don't think JDM is going to be ready for the high pace that Bal is going to put on him, bro. Bal is an underrated striker. He outstruck Leon Edwards. I mean, he knocked out Sean Brady, and we just saw what Sean Brady did to Leon, bro. He dominated Burns on the feet, and then JDM had to have a comeback victory against Burns. I think that if this fight stays on the feet, JDM is going to have an advantage. Bal has been doubted, and he's angry at the fucking world, man. He goes online, he sees the memes, and he's going to want to prove everyone wrong, bro. We're going to remember Bal Muhammad's name. I think Bal will win this fight by unanimous decision. Now, look, I think it's close. I think JDM could knock him out, man. We have seen Bal knocked out in the future by Jeff Neal. We saw Leon have success against Belal in the first fight. I think that Belal's just like experience and his grappling and his underrated striking are just going to be too much for JDM at this stage in his career. Like, look at the fight with Burns for both guys. You know what I mean? JDM was like losing the third round and debatably lost the second round. Now, I had JDM 2-0, honestly, but a lot of people had it 1-1, and then Burns was winning the third until the knee. I just think that Belal gets counted out too much, man. And I'm someone who's done this to Belal. I just think I can't count Belal out again, or I'm just going to look like an idiot. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, fell for it again award. Here you go. Like, Belal is going to win this fight, man. JDM is good. He has a great future at welterweight, but I just think that Belal is going to get it done this time, man. So I'm going to be picking Belal to win this. Like, do you really think that JDM is ready for the cardio machine that is Bal Muhammad, the great Bal Muhammad? No, bro, he's not. I don't think he's ready for that type of stuff, man. Like, I just don't think that JDM is ready yet. Now, I will say his win over Randy Brown is super impressive. I do think it will be a 48, 47, 49, 46 win for Belal. I think JDM might even hurt Belal in one of the rounds. But here's another point that I want to make is that Belal has underrated defense on the feet as well, bro. He does not get hit as much as people think, bro. Those are my reasons for picking Belal to defeat JDM. I think it will be a close fight, but I think Belal will clearly win by unanimous decision. Classic Bal Muhammad performance. Thank you for 2,000 subscribers. I cannot say that enough. I love you guys so much. Subscribe, like, comment what you want to see in the next one, and peace.